stove, cooking crack like grits. Got this vibe on her tippy toes, struggling in a pit. LA live, I'm staying at the Lowe's with this Hollywood bitch. Got a nine, and a snub nose, can't wait to let it hit. Pull up with a stick, I pull up with a stick. I pull up with a pink toe, whipping, she sucking it dick. I put some diamonds on her toes, let her hold on and don't reach. We was used to pulling kick those, you can still call it a leak. Broken can't be fixed, when the names is spent the nick. How you pull that don't make sense. I made a whole mile off an inch. I had 99 problems, I just scratched your heart the list. Got some means and winning, salt on my neck, cause a quarter brick. I've been getting it since a toddler, I keep dollars on my head. Been a real one is my motto, handle my problems, I ain't scared. I put powder on my collar, cause she proud of what I said. I'm a leader, I got on follow, and my footsteps like the feds. I shoot like a Montana, chop up bullets, make them shit. Black on black, new phantom in the backseat sipping red. Bitch, I'm from Atlanta with these hoes ready to like pig. Condo like the pharmacy, I got codeine in my fridge. Bestie, I just hit my friend, told her catch me. I'ma lick her skin, she so precious. Might not fuck again, she too messy, but hit and no flex. Rose gold ornaments, drop 210, car game with no 10. You don't gotta, you the dough, you can hop in front of tip, boy, 9 in the vent. Think by dying and get spent. I got 2 B's on my bosses and a 30 in a bed. I know niggas better than million, he still didn't tell 12 shit. I got skeletons in my closets and they scared of me and shit. Miss Margella's under the bed, screaming rock me kid. I put water on my head and she got CC. Couple ops played dead and they still got hit. I done bent lil' mama's spine, but it still ain't my kid. Only reason I use my line is cause she drank my spit. No cap. I've been getting it since a toddler, I keep dollars on my head. Been a real one is my motto, handle my problems, I ain't scared. I put powder on my collar, cause she proud of what I said. I'm a leader, I got on follow, and my footsteps like the feds. I shoot like a Montana, chop up bullets, make them shit. Black on black, new phantom in the backseat sipping red. Bitch, I'm from Atlanta with these hoes.
Today, we're going to talk about the PLL this weekend, MLB winners on the diamond, and let's cash a squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Well, Jovan, the Orioles have now lost 7 games in a row. What a fucking joke. 15-31, more than 15 games under 500. You just got swept by the Nats. I haven't seen the Nats sweep a team, let alone the Orioles, I don't think in my lifetime. I'm all for reading a good book in the off season when your fucking feet are in the sand and you don't have a baseball game to worry about. Mid-season when you got a 6 ERA, fucking lock in, buddy. Put the books down. Grab a baseball. Hit the fucking treadmill, Trevor.
Which the Cubs are a team where if you give them like a single-pronged approach, simple approach with the plate, they can only key in on one pitch, which with Nick Abel is exactly what you have to do. They have been demolishing those pitchers every single time they see it. They ain't stopping now. I'm buying in. We're seeing a shootout.
320 feet. I could hit a ball that far. I mean, when do we normalize celebrating pop-ups? Aaron Judge, typical me guy move. Hitting a nuke there instead of just putting the ball in play. And look, he didn't make the dimensions of the park, but he decided to play in them, and that shit pisses me off.
I got too much to live, no time to forget. New chrome, yeah, I got this shit on my head. You grown, shit, no, I don't got time for this. Alone, you just wanna.
What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, the best BTL of the week, episode 719 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you aren't using Bookit yet and you're betting on sports, if you're following sports, if you're watching this show every day, maybe think about giving Bookit a peep. W app, W website as well. If you have Bookit Pro, go check out Bookit yourself. Free to use, free to download, the best UI UX out there by far. For a sports betting app, go check it out yourself. W Bookit. Jovan,
Sure.
We got some work to do, my man. Plain and simple.
A little bit.
Plain and simple. W YouTube chat getting up and moving. We got Scott Quaid up and moving. Apologies for the late start, JD. That's on me. We'll be better next week. Okay. W subbies coming in at the end of TMA as well. We got Banana getting up and moving, blessing up with some subbies. WTMA. You guys are goated getting the Friday started off right. Let's have a fucking day. I see Jonesy in the chat. Can we get a shore? Sure. Let's have a fucking Friday. Let's have a weekend.
Haven't had a vintage shore.
Sure. Come on. Let's have a Friday. Let's have a weekend. We got PLL this weekend. 3 games on national TV. So all you guys yapping about, oh, I got to watch this shit on ESPN Plus. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. 3 games on national TV this weekend in the PLL. Not 1, not 2, How about a 3-piece? Hold the fry. Massive. Zero excuses, Jovan, for the people not to get involved this weekend. If you've been sitting around waiting, saying, I'm not fucking doing this, this is the weekend to hop in. Okay? 10-2 on PLL plays so far this season. 10-2. Are you kidding me?
Get that bio up and moving.
What are we doing? 10-2. Unbelievable. And I crunched the numbers. I went through and sent all the plays to Goots earlier because I want to make a graphic to fucking show you guys the Carfax. The only 2 losses this season have been on the Whip Snakes when I'm betting on them on the ML. So horrendous vibes.
Hashtag thank you, Goots.
Weekend, but yep, thank you, Goots. Your squad there. YouTube chat up and moving. Oaktown's finest. Time to get the party started. Sure we can. 69 nice sit on the coldest streak of his life. Hope to get back on track here. Sure, JD Locks. Let's have a weekend. Why not us? Zachary in here. Krabs at Sugano and Run Square has your name all over it. Nope. Because remember, we don't take those bait squares. There's a reason why they're only putting these 3.5 run squares up for the pitchers against the Yankees when they're in their coldest offensive streak so far of the MLB season. Don't take the bait.
Bad.
Don't take the bait. I'm not. Nats taking game 1 in LA tonight. We'll talk about it. And we got subbies coming in, Jovan. Subbies.
Wow. Sade and Who's Daddy dropping
Who's
dual
your daddy?
5 pieces.
Come on.
Get the
Who's your
treasure
daddy
train
coming in?
up and moving.
Again, don't know what it is. Don't care. I love it. I love it.
Goated.
Treasure train. All I know is that it's goated. Sure we can. Who's your daddy? Sade Whiteman, who comes in here and drops 5 subbies every single day. Are you kidding me, Sade? Thanks for tailing. Thanks for blessing up the squad. Hell yeah. Ian228 coming in as well. Excited for the PLL this weekend. So are we. You guys are blessed. We have Dan Newby coming on to talk about the PLL slate in like 20 minutes. That's why we got to power through the recaps and power through the sharp report here in a second, or else Goots is going to have a heart attack. We're going to get Newby on here in a couple minutes as well and go through the entire PLL slate. We are blessed this weekend. Let's fucking go, guys. Come on. For the treasure train.
Get to level 5 and you get 35% off gifted subs. That's what it
No
means.
way. Okay.
There you go. W Packs.
Okay. It means to get to level 5 and we get 35% off gifted subs. That's honestly kind of useful, Pax Picks. Let's have a Friday. You guys have been splooging subs. Splooging subs and splooging vibes. Krabs, I did say yesterday it was always the A's and not the Elks, or the Owls and not the Elks. Shit, Madul, I missed that one, man. Give me a play this weekend. And we're already at level 4 for the treasure train, by the way. 3 minutes left, so you guys can pump that puppy up, get it to level 5. And there it is, I think.
More heart.
I think it's happening. Heart. There's some weird animation going on right now, folks.
Treasure
on my
train
end. Yep.
Fully unlocked.
Treasure train unlocked, whatever that fucking means. Let's go, chat.
There it is.
35% off subs. 5+ subs, 35% off. So if you're in a giving mood today, if you're trying to get the vibes up after a squad ride out, Goots, go ahead and flash the graphic. Get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off. Fuck. And then they won the game.
Hashtag thank you, Giants.
Sons of guns.
Hashtag thank you, Giants bets.
I'm not saying you guys have to. Okay, you can keep your coins secure for the squad ride if you need to. But if you're looking to give out some subbies, if you want to shout outs, oh my God, here they come.
Splurging.
Open the floodgates.
35%
Open
off
the floodgates, folks. Oh my God.
So much. I can't even see them.
The surge stream would never. We don't even know if we're having a surge stream today. We don't even know. You think he's getting those subs? No.
Never.
Come on, chat.
Never.
Come on, chat.
And there he is, bitch.
Let's go. Let's go. Pax Picks coming in with 5 more subbies.
Bang. Fuck.
Who's your daddy? T-Bone Steak 7676. Sean Beasy. We can't let these get swept, Jovan. Pax Picks, you're fucking him. Who's your daddy? You're fucking him. T-Bone Steak, you're fucking him. Cubbies WC coming in. Let's go.
Splooge.
Come on, chat.
They definitely.
Are you kidding me?
Nuked the Sirs in Trent's face last night.
Jovan. I mean, you want to take some of these?
Nate Bieri for sure took the Sirs.
You know he had
for
Pacers
sure took the
team
Sirs.
total, and he saw that Thomas Bryant 3 swish, and then they didn't score the rest of the game, huh? Insane.
Drowning.
Insane.
We got more subs this stream than career surge streams run by Trent.
Wow. Yep. And we're on episode 719 of BTL. How about it? Come on, Jovan. Come on. Let's fucking go, chat. Let's carry. Let's have a fucking Friday. Let's bless up your guys' feed with some winners. Let's bust your bankroll up with some winners. Let's have a fucking Friday. T-bone steak coming in. 2 words,
T-bone?
107.5. Okay.
2 words.
Okay.
That might be sharpest line
Sure he
of all
can.
time from the books.
I mean, yeah, they were on something. They were onto it. They knew exactly what the fuck was happening last night. Holy smokes. Come on, chat. Rumor has it if we get to level 10, we're level 8 right now, we get a Pega face reveal. Cannot confirm or deny. Cannot confirm or deny.
That could be the difference.
Level 10, Pega face reveal on Surge Stream today.
Hoverware.
Cannot confirm or deny, chat. Cannot confirm or deny. You guys are fucking goated. There's a max tonight and it's a dog. Dead Larry Bird, make sure I see it. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Let's recap the Sharp report from yesterday, and then we're going to dive in and talk about our plays for today, rapid fire. W day yesterday from me.
Wow,
Staying hot as we get 5 more subbies. I mean, we can't even
who's
talk
your daddy? Splooging.
Who's your daddy's rich? And he's blessing up you guys in the chat.
What did he nuke last night? I gotta know.
Treasure Train level 8. Come on, Jovan. Come on.
Level 8 complete. We're on 9.
Wow. Level 9, folks. We are so close to double digits. You guys are him in the chat. Thanks for bringing the vibes. Thanks for bringing the subbies, especially. You guys are fucking goated. Thank you so much. All you guys, seriously. Even the people just chilling in here, not subbing yet. Thank you so much. And if you just got a free subby, drop a W in the chat. Drop a thank you. Let's bring Manners back.
Whoever gave you that one.
Let's bring Manners back in the Big 2-5.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Give him a little
like
thank
Shohei last night. He gets hit by a pitch. He says, calm down. He's shaking Luis Ariza's hand like they're making some sort of deal at first base. Let's bring Manners back.
Fuck Shohei.
Big 2-5. Dude, Shohei's him. Shohei's not the problem. I would love for you to repeat what you told us earlier about Coach.
Little ass pecker.
Yep. No, you got to say it how you said it before because it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no indication that Dave Roberts has a little pecker, last night shows you his little pecker. Just like the worst manager, worst person on planet Earth.
We're going to have to get a little pecker report from Goots weekly. One guy.
Never going to change.
Proven he's got a little pecker.
It's going to always be Dave Roberts.
This week it's Dave Roberts. Maybe next week it'll be Dave Roberts too.
It's going to always be Dave Roberts.
Sade splooging.
I'll tell you who doesn't have a little pecker. That's Sade Whiteman. He's fucking dropping dong on the tape. I'll say it. Yep.
I was thinking that. Yep. I didn't want to say it though. Thought twice about it, but you laid it out there. So
I'll do it. Sade Whiteman, him. Let's fucking go, Sade. Come on. Come on.
Sade.
All right. Guys, we got to pick up the tempo and the pace because we have a W guest coming on here in about 20 minutes to talk some PLL. So, Jovan, I know I like yapping. Keep me in line. We got a rapid fire through the Sharp report today, just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Let's hop into it. McGregor said, Krabs, your bets are literally ass. Not sure how you can survive off them. And the terrible bets you place, you're literally a walking out. Well, it's actually sad seeing some of these people just bringing everything down.
Yeah,
they must have some shit going on in their life.
I feel like there's so many more of those people that come out when you're red hot, which doesn't even make sense.
It's sad. Like, why
more
are
those people come in chat
together?
when you're splooging than when you're not hitting bets?
I've never been this hot in my life the last month. This is absurd. For NFL, maybe. I'll go on streaks in the NFL, certainly. But over a summer like this? I mean, we've improved from 2 years ago in the Diamond. Certainly, Jovan. We're getting smarter. We're getting better every year. But
yeah,
I've never been this hot in my life in a summer. Are you kidding me?
It's so dumb.
And people still got to come in here and bitch. Well, I don't have time for it today. And 99% of you guys are bringing the right attitude and the right fucking effort and the right mindset into BTL chat every day. So I'm not going to worry about it anymore. But that guy's blocked. And anybody else who says shit like that, you're out of here. There you go. See you. There you go. See you. Don't have time for it today. Unbelievable. Yeah, I will. I shouldn't have to deal with that much bitching, man.
It's a lot of bitch.
Incredible.
A lot of bitch.
All right. The YouTube chat's up and moving as well. You guys are fucking goated. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some winners for today.
2-5.
Yep. And yeah, the Nats are on the card. Yep. The Nats are on the card.
Might have to skip
all right,
there,
let's go. Let's go right to it. Let's go right to it. Okay. Nats plus 1-0. Jovan, wouldn't it be the most Nats thing ever? Wouldn't it be the most Dodgers thing ever for the Nats to come into town and give them their yearly wake-up call, their yearly get swept at home by a shit team? Wouldn't that be the most Nats thing ever, too? The Nats are the weirdest team I've ever seen this year. So they can beat anybody, they can lose anybody. Coming off that win, the James Wood double nuke. Jesus
Double
Christ,
nuke.
by the way, he's so fucking good.
So good.
So good. CJ starting to get going. We're going to have the lefty dominated lineup today. You're going to have some bench guys in there, but I'll tell you what, these bench guys cannot be more than due. I haven't seen Riley Adams get a hit in 2 months. Not a joke.
He's bad.
He gets a hit tonight if he plays for K-Bear. Give K-Bear a night off. Jesus Christ. What is he, Buster Posey? Give the guy a night off. His legs are about to fall off. Dude hasn't hit a home run in 3 months because his legs are literally goo from catching every fucking night. Give him a night off. Let's get Riley Adams up and moving. Okay? We're going to have Ahmed Rosario. We'll talk about him in a moment, the lefty masher. Go look at Clayton Kershaw's squares, Chad, if you don't believe me. This is not a biased play. And Mackenzie Gore is one of those pitchers that it doesn't matter what's sharp or what's not, 9 times out of 10. Knock on wood. That guy goes out there and overperforms, overexceeds expectations. The books can't keep up with his strikeout stuff, plain and simple. And the Dodgers strike out a lot. He's going out there and shoving today. Thought about taking the first 5. That's kind of a popular angle I've seen today on the feed. I've seen it on some apps. Instead, I'll go with the late game Nats offense that's been splooging late, coming from behind, showing some heart in the late innings of late. How many times am I going to say late? I'm going to go with them to keep this game close within 1 in a game I think goes under. A game I think they honestly win, Jovan, but I'll take the +1 at almost a pick-em price in what I think is going to be a low-scoring affair. And like Good said, if it wasn't clear that Davey Roberts has a little pecker, could not be more clear now after last night. And Davey Martinez is coming into town, coaching for his fucking life. Now's the time to capitalize after that big win. On a road stand, the Nats make no sense. This is not only a game they win tonight, Chad, but this is a series they randomly sweep. I'll say it.
Krabs.
I'll say it.
Krabs.
Yeah.
You had me for so long. For so long before that.
Well, we're going to have Alex Call, Ahmed Rosario, all the lefty mashers in there today.
I'm in. I think they're going to touch Kershaw.
They will. They will. The old little peck narrative. Yep. One of the oldest narratives in the book. Sure. All right. Swinging around. We got to go to Javon's first play, and we got to pick up the tempo and pace because that was way too much Nats talk. Wow.
Yeah,
Runs.
That's more Nats talk. I'm with you.
Fuck.
I think they destroy Clayton Kershaw. And if there's any
wow.
any weird thing going on with the Dodgers in this series, which I don't disagree with you. I think the Nats can win this game, but I think it's going to come from the offense. I don't know if I'm super in love with Mackenzie Gore in this game. Like the strikeout stuff can be there, but the one thing that
lights
I kind of
bright.
like,
Yeah, in LA. Sure.
lights are a little bright. You got to pitch around some guys too. This feels like one of those starts where even if the strikeouts are there, maybe he's not incredibly efficient, which he hasn't been too many times throughout this year, which is why he's been so good. But I also like from the Dodgers angle, they just had kind of the wake-up series for a couple of different reasons. They won the series 3-1, I think, and lost yesterday, but they were getting shut out for a majority of that game, started to splooge in the ninth. Emotions got high multiple times in the series. Now you get the Nats coming in. This feels like a game and a series where they've already seen the Nats in D.C., and the Dodgers can't play on the road nearly as well for God knows what reason, even against dog shit teams. And the Nats kind of surprised them for a little bit in that series in D.C. This feels like where the offense gets fired up for them all throughout this series, even against a great pitcher like Gore. So I do think there's going to be runs. Can the Nats win? I think they absolutely can, because Kershaw, I think, is going to get destroyed too by this lineup. But I'm seeing runs. So I'm getting it over.
Okay. Seeing runs. Let's hope they're mainly coming from the Nats bats in a desperate lineup. And look at Kershaw squares at the end of the day, right? Go look at Kershaw squares and tell me he's not getting touched up by a team that can't hit lefties today. Come on. Come on. He will. Love all the squares I'm seeing for him up there.
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's keep moving and grooving. Swing it back around for me, Gootsy. Got another straight bet for the peeps here. How about an over? We'll start with that Sox and Toronto over here. I like runs.
Fade member of the Big Two, Krabs.
I know.
Unbelievable, man.
I know. It's more of a fade on Turnbull and more of a fade on the White Sox bullpen and the Blue Jays bullpen. Okay? The part I like fading the least is actually Davis Martin, your guy. But wouldn't mind fading him today. Look at some of his squares. And then Turnbull, some of the weirdest squares I've seen up on Prize Picks today. The guy has not given up more than 2 runs in a start all season. And he's up there for 1.5 earned runs. Super, super red. I think he gets mucked up. And by the way, against the worst team in baseball, too, the White Sox. Jesus. Well, White Sox are scoring some runs a little bit right now. They're not winning. They're putting up a couple runs. I want to ride that momentum. I think they put up a couple against Toronto. And then I think Toronto also puts up a few and maybe carries the weight here. They probably end up pulling out the win. They're minus 190. But I like to fade Turnbull here with some of the weird squares he's got up there, and he cannot keep getting away with it and over exceeding expectations. He's just not that guy. He's not a 2 ERA guy, respectfully. White Sox smash him today. And then the same can be said for the White Sox bullpen once Martin gets out of there. And I wouldn't be surprised if Martin gives up 3 earned runs today, which for him wouldn't be a pretty bad start, to be honest with you, the way he's been dealing. But the Prize Picks board tell me he gives up a couple as well. Maybe not 10, 3. And then the White Sox bullpen probably helps us out immensely. So good seeing the juice on this total, moving towards that over as well. I already thought it was kind of high, considering we have 2 solid starting pitchers in this game, and considering the White Sox offense is involved. I was confused why the juice is moving towards the over and why the total's at 9 in the first place. Runs. We're getting them, and it's kind of square back in Toronto to keep scoring, but I mean, they're red hot at the plate the last month or so. I want to keep leaning into that.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the part that certainly does scare me about Davis Martin, who's goated, but he doesn't have great strikeout stuff, and the Blue Jays don't strike out, so there's going to be a lot of balls in play, which sometimes has been good, sometimes has been bad for him, but wouldn't be shocked either if he has one of his not great starts.
Okay. All right. What else you got, Jovan? Swinging around to your plays, my man.
Talk about the A's.
Wow.
Red Hawk to him after Nick Kurtz has incredibly escaped the flounder meat allegations. So he's getting red hot, and he absolutely owns that franchise in Houston. But now we get Tanner Bybee, Jeffrey Springs. Jeffrey Springs has been one of the most inconsistent pitchers, probably the most inconsistent pitcher by far that the A's have had on that staff, because like when he has a great matchup, he's been lights out, but when he doesn't, he's been one of the worst pitchers in baseball in some of these starts. And now you get a Guardians team that cannot hit a lefty to save their lives. Have been continually fading them every single time they faced one, minus last start, which conveniently had been the only time I guess they've won in the last month against one. But now they get to see one. There's some like a 20-cent move towards the A's, which is odd. You don't get that very much. And the other time you've seen that was when they beat the Astros in the series. But now you get another one against Jeffrey Springs, who has not been great recently. Bybee's actually been really, really good recently. And I think this A's lineup can certainly get to him, especially the top. The guys like Lawrence Butler, even the guys like Rooker from the right side, I think match up pretty well against them. There's a 2.5 earned run square. It's probably screaming your name there, even with like a lower total than there usually is in Sacramento. So like this is not a completely like expecting a shootout type A's game, but if we get one, great. But I think Springs pitches really, really well, especially because he's seen a couple of these guys a few times, and it's a great matchup for him. So taking the A's and backing Springs, super rare.
All right. Yeah, Lockie, I ban him. I'm not dealing with it. I don't care.
Sure.
No, reban him. Don't unban him. I banned him. I don't want him in here.
Send him out.
He's spewing bullshit. I'm going 4 for 5 every single day, and he's talking about my shit plays. He's lying to you guys. He's convincing you guys the wrong shit. I'm done with it. I'm not going to address it anymore, but I'm going to ban him. I'm going to ban him. And let that set a precedence. Lockie, I'm calling the shots. Be fucking seeing. Ban him. Get him the fuck out of here, dude. See ya. I'm going to be pissed if I see him unbanned. Swinging around, Goots. I got one more straight bet. How about the under in KC and San Diego? It's been a while since we've seen a gem from Pivetta. I think we might get one tonight. A little bounce back start against the Royals, who are starting to heat up, sure, and I kind of like the Royals in this game. But I think Lorenzen, the weirdest part of this sell job, I think Lorenzen is honestly the guy who pitches the best and over exceeds expectations in this game. Go look at some of his squares for today. And he's been terrible. He's got that ERA up to 5, but in a pitcher's park, after all that Padres bullshit last night, they left it all out there on the field. They're fighting, they're clearing benches, all that BS. I think today they might show up a little fat, happy, and complacent at home against the Royals, not putting up runs. And I think Lorenzen shoves, looking at some of his squares. And then Pivetta with a bounce back start after getting hit up the most he has all season, but still not too terrible. Pivetta's Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable, and at home in a pitcher's park, I trust him to go out there and shove, maybe give up one, maybe make one little mistake, but I like my chances back in Pivetta. And looking at the Prize Picks board, I like my chances back in Lorenzen tonight too. And this total dropping from 8 to 7.5 with Lorenzen's 5 ERA. Weird. I want to back this nasty under on Apple TV.
Sure. Little Apple TV under letdown spot, I guess, kind of for the Padres. Not that they had a great series, but won yesterday. Super emotional series. I don't know if Tatis is going to play. Could be a dead spot. Yeah,
Tatis might not play. That honestly could be the difference. Right? Give him a rest day. That dude's been on fuego. Could have something to do with that total dropping as well.
Could be.
Okay. Dubs. All right. Swinging around. You got one more straight bet, and then we'll get to the prize pick squares.
A full game Diamondbacks -1.5 against the Rockies. You know who's on the bomb, Krabs?
Who?
Zach Gallen.
Your guy.
Yeah, my guy. Haven't backed him too much.
Tables have turned.
Kind of. Just today. But you remember that insane 26-run game where the Rockies, this was the only time they got even close to hitting the amount of home runs they did against the Nats? It was against Zach Gallen, and it was in Arizona. And the thing that is wildly different, I think, or will be wildly different tonight, is I noticed something because this was like at the beginning, I think this was in April last year when we were sweating Gallen runs, and he went to pitch in Coors after he just dominated the Yankees. He had a pretty good start. He gave up like 3, I think, but he had double-digit strikeouts. He talked about it because he's actually been one of the few guys that has been really, really good in Coors throughout his career. He says he leans on his knuckle curve a lot more, leans on the curveball and a little more of the off-speed stuff because he feels confident in it. And that kind of works well with his arsenal. He thinks it's like an added boost to his arsenal in Coors, which is crazy. But I noticed that, and he was talking about how comfortable he felt with that, and always does when he pitches in Coors. I was looking back at all of the nukes they hit off of him in Arizona in that start. They were all either fastballs or they were sliders. 2 of them were sliders that were hung in the middle of the zone, not just like the home runs, but all of the hard contact he gave up. One of the reasons why he was super ineffective in that start is because every knuckle curve he threw was either middle of the zone or it was spiked in the dirt to the point where it was non-competitive. Now, when he's going into Coors, again, he's going to have that same feel, want to establish a knuckle curve. And if he can do that against a strikeout-heavy lineup, I think he's going to pitch very, very well. And the bullpen's another concern, obviously, with them. But when you have Austin Gomber on the other side of the mound, which he came back, and I think he had a gem of a start where he threw like 5 shutout or 5-1 run against the Mets, I believe. But he's not going to do that again against this offense. I think Gurriel tears him up, Suarez tears him up. All of them match up really well against him. That's not saying much because it's a dog shit lefty against the D-backs lineup. But I think they hop all over him, and I think this is a dominating first win for the D-backs where they're back.
Okay. Would love to see the D-backs offense step up for their starting pitcher tonight and say, you know what? Hold my beer, Gallen. I got you. You're playing in fucking Coors. Help out your struggling starter. Get him some fucking run support. You're facing Austin Gomber. And I believe is it his debut for the season?
I think he has one start, and then he shut out the Braves, not the Mets. It was the Braves.
He pitched like 5 innings, shutout ball.
Incredible.
This could be a classic D-backs just splooge fashion.
Yeah.
D-backs win, they're winning by 15.
Yeah.
Especially in this park.
Hope so. Yeah, it took
Raffy coming in
everything.
Sorry, Jovan.
No, shout out to Raffy. It
took
everything in my power to not take a team total or something involved, but everything in the plums just wants Gallen today.
Okay.
Which is super rare.
Yeah, that does not happen often. So when it does, I'm paying attention. Okay. Well, W. Lockey paying out that prediction from last night. Appreciate you, bro. Dubs. All right. Let's move. Let's groove. Let's talk about some prize pick squares, huh? Or do I have one more straight bet? No, we're good. Yep. Spencer Turnbull, I already talked about, honestly, both these squares kind of, but Turnbull, especially one of the weirder squares. And after sweeping the 2 pitcher squares yesterday, feeling really confident about this Turnbull square against the White Sox. Look, if it wasn't against the White Sox, I probably wouldn't think this is as weird, but it's the fucking White Sox. Who the hell wants to take this more than the way Spencer Turnbull has been pitching? Love the over in this game. Honestly, think the White Sox get to him early and often, and he has his worst start of the season. And love that the over is -120 as well. So, yeah, and that guy who got banned literally made a new account and just followed, so I'm going to ban him again. I'm setting a precedence. If you come in here and try to ruin the vibes after we get a bazillion subbies, after we have a great intro to the show, you're out of here. I'll go get the full umpire fit out and everything. You're out of here. There you go. See you. Bye-bye. I'm not dealing with it. Positive vibes only. That's how we fucking win. We're in this shit together, chat. We're in it together. I'm standing on biz. Get that guy out of here, bro. All right, and then Ahmed Rosario. I mean, Jovan, maybe the weirdest square on prize picks today. We know he likes hitting lefties. He literally gets paid from the Washington Nationals to hit lefties. And he's facing Kershaw today, who's going to get mucked up looking at prize picks. He is. Bless his heart, future Hall of Famer, but we're getting him tonight. Now it just comes down to the Nats bats following suit, right? But Ahmed Rosario, minus 130 to the over 1.5 on the books when the guy hasn't gotten more than 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in like weeks. Sticking out to me. And revenge game as well. He's familiar playing in that stadium, a veteran. That's the kind of guy I want to back in that park tonight. So give me Ahmed Rosario minus 130 to the over on the books. Lock this puppy in before it's off the board. Okay?
Sure. Shout out Ahmed. Might need him.
Yeah, Locky, bro. He deserves it. All right, swing it around. W, tempo, and pace. Jovan, I want to hear these 2 squares, my man. Let's fucking go.
Did go well going tonight against the Jollies. They just had their, I don't know, one of their first good offensive performances in probably a week, scoring 8 last night, as we kind of thought was going to happen against that Tigers bullpen game in game 2, and actually giving Skeen some run support for the one time. Now they get to face DeGrom, and more importantly, Road DeGrom, where he has considerably, like, his strikeout stuff. He's had some better matchups, I will say, on the road, so it plays into it a little bit, but he has dominated in the K department and the whiff department on the road. And now you get a team where, like, the teams, the guys that are going to hurt you are realistically from the left side, like O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds, which, again, he has had much, much better strikeout stuff against that side as of late. So I think he's going to dominate tonight. So didn't want to play around with anything else on the book because the Rangers are dog meat and can't score either. But you're damn right, I will continue backing the go well. And then Gallon kind of already gave you the sell job there. Knuckle curve is the key to everything for Gallon. So, like, if that's working, he's going to have double-digit strikeouts.
Okay. Never thought I'd see a day where we have Zach Gallen more than strikeouts on your sharp report, but here we are.
Sure.
Love it.
Rare.
That's good. Look, you got to make adjustments and, you know, pick your spots. And I'm not saying you're now a Zach Gallen guy or you fucking love the way he pitches, but tonight you do. Good for you putting your biases to the side and locking in and backing him today. And I love the spot.
Sure.
Great sell job. Get that knuckle curve up and moving. You might
Get
need
up
it.
and moving.
You might need it. Okay.
I need it.
W, let's fucking go. And again, DeRaffi or him, let's have a great day and a great weekend, fellas. Only option we have, DeRaffi. Only option we have. Okay? I appreciate all the subbies, the W vibes from 99.9% of you guys in the chat today. We're about to have a Friday. You guys mind? You mind if we have a Friday? I certainly don't.
Might have.
We're about to. Okay? I just wish we had PLL on tonight. Instead, we got Saturday and Sunday PLL action. 4 games this weekend. It's homecoming. I will be there boots on ground, Goots on ground for both games tomorrow in Baltimore, the Goots homeland. Let's fucking go.
Really
Let's
bad
have an
homeland.
absolute weekend, chat.
Really, really bad.
Well, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the Whip Snakes. Looking at some of the odds of these games. We'll talk about it. Okay.
Lamar going to be there? Or?
I don't know. Lamar might be there. He might.
I know he's not practicing football.
might.
I've seen.
I'll text him. No, he's
Yeah.
practicing
Goots.
football.
He's not practicing.
He's practicing football. The Ravens
I got a
are
Whip
literally
Snakes,
spoluging posting pictures of him. He's practicing football.
I got a Whip Snakes fiddlestick with his name on it, Goots.
All right.
Lamar shows up.
Okay.
Let's fucking go.
That
I'm
picture
excited
of me
for
and
this
Lamar
weekend.
would break the internet.
I'm excited for this weekend.
Break the
Oh,
internet.
shit.
Break the
Well,
internet.
good thing I'm not playing in the games.
Break the
lost the
internet,
ball.
he says.
What if Lamar shows up in Baltimore? He might.
He said a picture of him and Lamar would break the internet. Oh
would.
my Sade.
Whoa.
Dropped a quarter on us.
We got 25 subbies coming in here from Sade Whiteman. Let's fucking go, Sade.
Shout out
Attaboy.
Sade.
W Sade, you're him, bro. I know you've been tailing. All right, guys. We're going to get our guy Newbie on here in a minute to talk some PLL. We got to gas up you guys with the subbies here first, though. Are you kidding me, Sade Whiteman? Not
Big
5,
quarter
not
for
10,
Sade.
not 20. 25 subs. Sade, dude. What did you tail last night, bro? Holy
wonder.
smokes. And
Trent
yeah, what's the
wonders why
Sade
he
Whiteman
can shoot.
POD for tonight?
Yeah, I need
Wow.
some Sade PODs.
Wow. All right. W Sharp Report chat. Feeling really good about all those plays and the prize pick squares. Why don't we go ahead and get Newbie up here and talk about the PLL this weekend? Maybe the most anticipated weekends of the PLL season so far. Newbie, how are you doing, my man? Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely, boy. I mean, dude, there's nowhere I would rather kick off the weekend than between you two gentlemen right here. And yeah, you're right, dude. We got 3 national TV games. So, folks, while you're out this weekend at the bars and whatnot, like the PLL action will be a plentiful, and it's our job, Krabs, to find out how the hell we make money on it this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you're able to turn your mic up a hair.
It would help if I didn't turn the whole entire fucking mic down. That always helps. Yeah. So it was literally all the way down. Yeah. Usually when it's turned all the way down, you're not gonna be able to hear me. So there we go.
You're good. But yeah, a little recap here, chat. No excuses this weekend. You got 3 games on national TV. We've been screaming this all week, and we talked about this in the beginning of the BTL too. 3 games out of the 4 on national TV. Usually it's just 1 per weekend, but we're blessed for Whipsnake's homecoming. 3 games on national TV, and we're going to talk about all 4 games this weekend, newbie. I'm hyped, man. A couple other things going on in the PLL before we dive in and start talking about these games. Underdogs. Wow. It's been the year of the dog, newbie. Jeesh. 10-2 against the spread, the dogs?
Yeah. I mean, it's just they've been covering like absolutely crazy. Basically, the money line favorites, you're basically flipping a coin. It's like, do they win? Do they lose? But we've had so many 1-goal games to start. Yeah. 10-2 out the gate. And you know me, man. You're like me. We like finding that plus money. We like finding dogs. We don't want to eat all that chalk. So this year has been an absolute, you could just set it and forget it. Bet on every single underdog and you cashed, 10 of your 12 tickets. So insane how it started off this year. The other thing that stands out to me too, you mentioned how it's Whipsnake's homecoming. Are you going to be in the house this weekend? Are you making the trip over
tomorrow?
There? Oh, hell yeah.
Both games tomorrow.
Hell yeah. So one of the things that stood out to me though, that's kind of surprising because like year over year, it didn't really matter about the team that's playing 2 games, but maybe since it was Friday, Saturday, like this weekend, we're getting Saturday, Sunday. Nobody's won the second game of their homecoming weekend yet. 0-3 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. And the last team to get bit by it last weekend was the Water Dogs. And they were playing a team who didn't even get a win yet in the Outlaws. Sure, they're absolutely stacked, but that's something that you look at and you see chaos versus Whipsnakes. If I was having to pick like which team will finally get it done, it's going to be tough for me to back Carolina, even following in on that trend. I think the Whips could be getting a double win kind of weekend if they get through taking on the Cannons. And if they lose to the Cannons, they're going to be that much more motivated. So I think out of all the trends that we've kind of seen so far, dogs probably come back down to earth this week. And I think the big thing that's kind of come back down to earth is I would be shocked if we saw the Whips lose that game on Sunday, but I guess you got to see what happens Saturday first.
Look, I'm a Redwoods fan, but I do root for the local Whipsnake squad down the street as well, and they are in different conferences too. So, I mean, you could call them my mistress team, second team, whatever you want to call it. I just like supporting the league, and I love rooting for the Whipsnakes as well, just not as much as my Redwoods. Of course, they're near and dear to my heart. But the Whipsnakes this weekend, I will be a major fan of, obviously. We don't even have the Redwoods playing this weekend, so they got the bye. They're rested up. They're relaxed, kicking the feet up, probably watching the games on national TV this weekend. But it's going to be all Whipsnakes this weekend, and I'm with you, newbie. They've got 2 tough matchups. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose the first game and then win the second game on Sunday and break that narrative. And we're going to talk about all these games. Why don't we hop in and start talking about this first one? It's going to be a good one, okay? We've got Atlas versus Water Dogs. Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. I'm excited for this one, man. Atlas coming off that melt job. Oh, what is up with the Atlas, newbie? I mean, it's this new year, same shit. They just can't lose.
As Mikey. It's just because Mikey roots for him. That's if they do, they would just be an absolute wagon if it weren't for our man Mikey Over. So it's the nature of these New York teams, dude. And I hate to blame our guy, but across all leagues, it keeps happening to him. So
it's the only excuse that makes sense at this point. Yeah,
it's the only thing because, dude, they're absolutely loaded. They have the best face-off guy in the game in Trevor Baptiste by a large margin. I will say for this one, the folks don't only want the breakdowns. They want to know, hey, what are we betting? How do we make some money on this? One thing that just jumped off the page at me when I was prepping up, guys, is that Philadelphia, so they were an expansion team in 2020 when they had the whole COVID year. So that was the first year that they've been in the league. So since 2020, the Water Dogs have never not covered against the Atlas. They're 8-0 against the spread against this squad. I mean, that's mind-numbing. But then I dive a little bit deeper and I see the Water Dogs, they're going to be favored here. They're minus 1.5. You get like plus 118 on the comeback there. But on the money line, minus 122. This is only the second time. So sure, they've been great against the spread against them, but this is only the second time they've actually been favored against them, right? And I look at this Bill Tierney guy. Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame head coach. Don't get me wrong, but as far as the PLL is gone, at least last season, it hasn't really worked out for him. He's only 1-6 against the number as a favorite, so it's a little chalky. Minus 144, but I could see, some money maybe coming in tomorrow that brings that down to like maybe a little bit more manageable of a 130. But maybe that's a parlay piece for me. Bring that juice down. New York Atlas getting the goal and a half. I do like them to win outright, but it's only even money. So I'd rather grab that 1.5 in my pocket. I lean with that money line, but I think Atlas are getting the cover at least against Water Dogs. I think if they start scoring goals finally, their offense comes along a little bit more, it's just going to be make it take it against this Water Dogs team. Staticus cannot hang with Trevor Baptiste. So give me Atlas in game one, much to the joy of our man Mikey Over. I think this team is probably going to win outright, but give me that 1.5 for sure.
I mean, Jovan, we have to back the Atlas after that historic meltdown last week. It's the perfect spot.
That was epic.
And if you like the Atlas, you have to have some semblance of thought that they're going to stop Sowers, right? Because Sowers against that defense right now seems like hydrogen atom against coughing baby. So like maybe
the other thing about Sowers though too, Jovan, is like, dude, he's one hit away from being out for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, I love the dude. He's electric, but every single year, if he's not wrapped in bubble wrap, Sowers is going to leave too. And once he leaves, sure, you got Courier, you have some solid offensive options, but like he's the straw that's stirring that drink. You know what I mean? So you can't handicap in when is he gonna get hurt, but he just because he's a smaller dude, he's always one hit away, from being out for a couple of weeks.
And he's been a dimer so far this year. In years past, he's been a scorer, right, from the X, getting to the fucking rack. And like I'm trying to compare it to the NBA. Like a point guard like John Morant, who just gets to the rack, scores, dunks, has crazy energy, and just fearless. Not worried about anybody else, just gets to the rack and yams. That's what Sowers did. But this year,
do you have
Sowers
a point total for him for Sowers?
4.
Yeah.
Yep.
That feels free. I mean, at worst, we're pushing that, right? If he doesn't get injured, like that's the thing. Is when does he get injured before? That I'd probably look to throw that in a square, honestly.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I don't think you could fade Michael Sowers right now. The guy looks like Patrick Mahomes.
It's either over or nothing. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's a guy you can fade right now. There are some guys on Prize Picks we could talk about maybe fading. Jeff Teat, a little banged up right now. I took his season long less than points after an MVP season. That's just a nasty contrarian spot. It might be time to fade Jeff Teat again this weekend, Jovan. I don't know if I have the heart to fade Michael Sowers right now when he's healthy, and the way he's been passing the rock. He's got a whole new part of his game this year where it's not just him getting the rack, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see it after we talk about it. He'll score 4 goals in this game, and you'll see the old Michael Sowers, right? That's usually how it goes. But I don't think I have the sack to fade him right now. He's just playing good ball. Now, I do have the sack to fade the Water Dogs and take the Atlas, though. That I'll be on. Give me the ML.
I like that we're aligned right out of the gate here. I like that a lot.
Yep. Let's move on to game 2. We got a lot of great games this weekend, chat. Game 2, Cannons versus Whip Snakes, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Another nationally televised game. This one is going to be good. The Whip Snakes, not off to the greatest start this season, but again, they had that crazy comeback, and it did look like Brendan Krabs, for the first time this season, kind of locked in a little bit in the second half and looked good for the first time in the second half of that game. Now, is that going to be sustainable? I'm a little bit biased. The guy's name is fucking Brendan Krabs. I got to root for him, and he's on the local team, Maryland Whip Snakes, right? Give me a break. He's one of my favorite players in the league. But, Newbie, I want to ask you, man, is that sustainable? And what do you think about the Cannons versus the Whip Snakes, debatably the game of the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, for this one, too, I think this is a true coin flip. Like, I definitely lean with the Cannons. Both of these teams have been kind of over machines, and largely because, like you said, this Whips team can't really figure it out in goal. The defense hasn't really settled in. And I don't think against an offense like Boston is going to be the week when you finally figure it out defensively.
Right.
So, 24.5, sure, it feels like a high total. The under's juiced on that one, but I just don't see where the stops come from in this game. Sure, Kirst is great in net, but this Whips offense has shown that they can put up goals in bunches. The only team that they haven't gone over against was the Archers, and the whole Archers game plan is just take the air out of the ball and get teams in rock fights, which is surprisingly because they have, all kinds of offensive firepower, and we'll talk about that here coming up. But that over stood out to me.
Yes.
But I don't really love anything as far as the traditional side and total. So lean over. I lean Cannons. I wouldn't lay the 1.5 with the Cannons though. So that's why it keeps me off of it, because I would look more towards the money line here. The play I like a lot in this game. Asher Nolting looks like shit, Krabs. I'm sorry, man. Like we got to say that dude, and I hate to be that guy. You know what I mean? I'm not the pinnacle of health, but he looks like he came into the year a little out of shape. He looks out of sorts. Doesn't really seem like he can find where he fits into this offense, when typically it was, let me get bully ball, let me get back to the net, and then let me just turn around, and it's just not working for him. So I'm fading Asher Nolting. I've done it every week so far. We started with a 4.5 point total. He went under that. Then we saw 3.5s. We continue to see that. The most he's had was 3 points. And as this Whip Snakes team tries to figure out their defense, I don't see how this is the week when Asher Nolting is finally like, all right, yeah, I really feel it, because you're going to have Ajax Zapatello probably going towards his side, switching between him and Nolting. I love the under for Asher Nolting. So I'm looking at 3.5. Not sure what you guys are seeing, but 3.5 getting plus money on that. That's probably my favorite play of the weekend. I'm just going to keep fading Nolting until he gives me a reason not to. And I definitely haven't seen anything just yet.
That's the right move. They do have him up for 3.5 points on Prize Picks, and Jovan is a notorious Asher Nolting hater. And he might be onto something.
Man after my own heart,
because
I'm there.
He's trending downwards. And look, I want to compare this to Deebo Samuel coming into camp for the Commanders this year. A little chunky, maybe a little complacent, people are saying. But I'll tell you what, by the time the season starts or a couple weeks in, Deebo Samuel is going to be the same old Deebo Samuel. Asher Nolting will get going in a couple weeks. Might not be this weekend. And Newbie, I'm with you, my man. I think you keep playing the less than on one of the biggest stars in the league, because no one else wants to, until you see otherwise, or you see him wake up and get his legs under him. But eventually, halfway through the season, he will, and he'll start carrying this offense. And he's one of the best dimers in the league. Look, he's got to work on his shot a hair, and he always talks about that. His shot's never been the greatest, but he's one of the best passers I've seen, and he plays bully ball. Around halfway through the season, I'll look to start backing him. But again, keep taking the less than until you see him start getting his feet under him and start looking like he's in midseason form. I'm with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, once he cashes the over a couple weeks in a row, okay, you got me. But until that point, Krabs, like that's what you said. Everybody wants overs in the slip. Everybody wants it to go flying over. It's more fun rooting for overs. I get that, but this is just a guy who seems like he has not fit in quite yet. And the Cannons don't really need him to be that guy anymore, because they've done so well in the draft, because Holman has really come along. So I just don't see why you wouldn't continue just riding the under on him until he proves you otherwise. So that's the way that I'd bet this game. What are you thinking?
Dude, I'm aligned with you exactly. I like the Cannons on the ML, and I do like the over in the game. I know after we're all talking about fade Asher Nolting, but I do think this will be the best game of the weekend. I think there's a reason why it's prime time Saturday night under the lights. It's going to be a good one. Brendan Krabs, bless his heart, I'll be rooting for him, and I hope I'm wrong, but he's going to look like Swiss cheese in the net, more likely than not. And then Kirst. Now, I do like Kirst. He's a beast, but the Whip Snakes offense, the way they looked at the end of that game in the fourth quarter, if they can carry even somewhat of that momentum from last week, I think they put up some goals against Kirst, who is honestly one of the more underrated goaltenders in the league. But this weekend on the road, Whip Snakes homecoming, TJ Malone being the fucking beast he is, Rob Pennell starting to get going here. He needs to, right? I think you're going to see their offense only improve as the season goes on. And they put a couple against Kirst. The Cannons end up winning. I might lay the ML. We'll see where it ends up with the juice. But I like goals in this game, and I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend.
Yeah, right? I completely agree. Also, this is a matchup that in the, I think 5 games that they've had since 2021, since Boston came into the league here, this matchup also averages over 2 2-point goals a game. So that translates into obviously higher scoring. These are two teams who will let it rip from behind the arc. You could also bet that prop over 1.5 2-point goals. I think it's around minus 130. So I'm with you. Goals. Heavily lean with the Cannons. I think the price is just keeping me off there.
Yeah, we'll see where it ends up. I also like seeing, and no free ads, but on the blue book, the total is 1 goal higher than the green book. And that's typically a good sign because sometimes they know something, sometimes they're a little bit sharper. So I typically, if I'm on the fence, I'll lean with what I'm seeing over there on the blue. And right now we're seeing that total a goal higher. I think that's a good sign. Would not be surprised if the other books follow suit. So let's move on and talk a little bit about Sunday's games. We do have a Sunday afternoon game on ABC, 12 p.m. Eastern, Archers versus the Outlaws. Now, newbie, this ain't your mom and pa's Archers. They're not scoring goals this year. It hasn't really bit them in the butt yet, but at some point it probably will. I want your thoughts on this under machine so far this season, the Archers.
Every single game has gone under. They're starting to adjust for it. 21.5 is the total. Was 21.5 between these two teams that have this much fucking firepower.
It's crazy.
It makes no sense to me. I get it. They've been the under machine. 3 straight unders. For what it's worth, the Archers also, while they're sitting at 2-1, they haven't covered a game yet either because they're always laying the goal and a half, and all these games they've been playing have been super close. I don't know how we finally don't say enough is enough and go over in this game. Like, I know that the Archers, their whole thing is take the ball, take the air out of the ball, make you play our pace, but that's just not the way that Denver's going to play. And also, you can't like gloss over the fact that Logan McNaney, who's an absolute beast in the cage, had an incredible week 1. But these Archers, part of the best part of head coach Chris Bates's game plan is the way that he's able to kind of have a little bit more of an amoeba-like game plan. So sure, it's been all about take the air out of the ball. I think, hey, congrats to McNaney. You look great in week 1. I think the Archers are going to look to pepper him. You know what I mean? Test the young goalie. He looked great. Don't get me wrong, but this is maybe where the offense starts pushing a little bit more. Maybe they don't get into those settled offensive sets and they just kind of push the pace a little bit more. So 21.5, I think, is crazy between these two teams, man. So I know that it's been the under machine. I love backing the over in this matchup simply because I just don't. I think the Archers are kind of starting to see maybe this hasn't been the best game plan coming into the year, is easing ourselves in because they've gotten a little bit lucky sitting at 2-1. They could easily be 0-3 to start this year. The fact that they haven't covered a game yet. So I love this one, man. Give me the over. Absolutely. That's probably my favorite play for Sunday. And I also have a player prop in this one, but I want to get your thoughts on just how you see this one. As far as the side, I don't know, man. Denver, you feel like they're just 1 week away from going on a crazy run. I mean, 4-2 Wharton winners. Bernhardt finally gets his first goal last week. So, major question mark for me on the side. I sure as hell wouldn't be laying any goals with Utah, but I think the better way to attack it is just see goals in this game and go over that super low total, lowest total of the week, other than when you have Blaze in net, you always see a 21.5 in that chaos game.
Yep, deservingly so, because he's him. I like the Outlaws. I want to buy low. Yeah, I want to buy low on the Outlaws. Depending on where the juice is at, I'll take the spread. I'll take the +1.5. But I mean, the way it's looking right now and the way it's trending on the blue book, I mean, this might end up closing closer to a pick'em compared to the other books, which is pretty crazy. If you check those odds, it's starting to trend that way. Can McNaney follow up that legacy debut like he did last week? Probably not. And I'd certainly be down to fade that angle and back some goals in this game. I'd also be down to back some goals from the Outlaws here against an Archers team that does have Dobson in net, who's very, very underrated. But this team is due to give up some goals. They have not really yet all season. Their defense has been dialed. At some point, something's got to give, and the Outlaws attack with Bernhardt as he continues to get better every week, with Brendan O'Neill and Logan Wisnauskas. There's too many fucking pieces on this team for them not to put some goals in the back of the net. So I'm with you. Give me the over. It's contrarian. It's nasty. Let's fade both goaltenders who have been dialed in. I know it's a small sample size for McNaney, the Maryland kid, who's been an absolute stud so far in that first game, but I would be down to fade him against his veteran squads and mainly back Outlaws goals. Give me the over. Give me the Outlaws on the ML in this game, depending on where the juice ends for the spread. I'll probably end up just taking the money line. And I want to ask Jovan, we are friends of Mac O'Keefe. We are a Mac O'Keefe friendly pods. We've been rooting for him and taking his more than goals for years. Jovan, he's only scored 1 goal so far this season in 3 games. Do you think our guy Mac gets going today or this weekend? Excuse me, do we see Mac O'Keefe get going this weekend, or do you think maybe it's just not his year?
It might just not be his year, Krabs. I have to come to terms. It might just not be his year, but if there is any bounce back just for the overall, I guess, scope of this game, he's going to have to be more involved, right? You would think.
And against a rookie goaltender, maybe we see Matt O'Keefe get going here. I'm not saying he's going to put, 5 goals in the net, but if there's one thing we do know about Matt O'Keefe, it's that he's going to rip his shots. He's going to get his shots. And he has not really yet so far this season, but in recent years, the guy's getting 7 shots a game.
He hasn't hit the net in decades when I've turned these games on, man.
I know.
Dial it in.
What do you think, newbie? Do you think we see Matt O'Keefe breakout?
I think he'll definitely test McNaney from range, right? That's one of the best part of Matt O'Keefe's game is his absolutely just ability to rip it. So I think you're going to see that naturally start, rising up here a little bit. I could definitely see it again because he's been not even a factor. He's not even over on the blue book for any over unders. One thing that I will say as far as these props go, it's crazy to me because you see Jared Bernhardt, he finally got his first goal last week, and now his total goals is sitting at just a half. And the total goals is juiced to, it's almost, you have to lay $2 if you want to back the over. But yet his points prop is sitting at 1.5, and the over you're getting plus money on. So you're telling me that Jared Bernhardt, according to this book, is more than likely 2-1 going to score a goal, but yet he's not going to do anything else in the game. I would be looking towards Jared Bernhardt coming alive. I think each week you're starting to see that rust start to shake off. He's a generational player. And when he finally gets going, you're not going to be seeing 1.5s for Jared Bernhardt anymore. So give me the over on Jared Bernhardt's total points. It's plus 114. Love that play. And tying in with us thinking that there's going to be goals. Just because there's going to be goals doesn't mean you can't still like what these goalies do in cage. And you were kind of alluding to that. I think from what you saw in McNaney week 1 or last week when he finally started, putting his save prop at 11.5 is crazy. And the reason why you're seeing 11.5 is because the volume has been low for the Archers. But Krabs, Jovan, and I are all saying, hey, if we're going into this game, I think that volume is going to go higher. More shots means more save opportunities. It's kind of a hedge against that over. You could still cash this and cash the over. So give me Logan McNaney total saves over 11.5. That number should be 12.5, maybe even 13.5 in these next coming weeks. So over on McNaney, over on Bernhardt, over for the game. We love an over special.
Could be a fun game at noon on Sunday on ABC. Let's go. Jovan. Kind of similar to what we talk about on the ice in the NHL, right? With these goalie saves, squares that are up on Prize Picks, where people think if you're taking a more than goalie saves, you're back in, that guy to, have a shutout in net. No, you're not. You're back in the team he's facing to rip the puck a million times. Could be good. It could be bad. He's going to make a bunch of saves, but he could also, the volume is going to be there for the SOGs. He could also let in a bunch of shots. So yeah, that's the right way to think about it. And a good reminder for the people in the chat looking to bet this league. Great point. Great point.
Love that.
Right? One more game. Let's talk about it. The only game that's not on national TV this weekend, but that's okay. You can catch it on ESPN Plus. It's still going to be a banger of a game. And I think this could be where the Whipsnakes bounce back after a loss on Saturday night, potentially to the Cannons. I hate to say it. I'll be rooting for the Whipsnakes, but I think the Whipsnakes drop that game to the Cannons on Saturday nights, and then they break the trend, like Newbie was saying, and they're the first team to actually cover and win a game on their second game of the doubleheader this weekend. And I think they beat the Chaos. Give me the Whipsnakes on the ML in the last game of the weekend.
Yeah, I completely agree. You broke it down perfectly. Like that's exactly, if you could parlay 2 games with a team together, which it's not, the book isn't going to let you do that.
Oh yeah.
Cannons money line. Maybe you just bet Cannons money line big, and then you do like what we call a mechanical parlay. So, put your, 2 units on the Cannons money line. And then once you cash that bet, take the whole entire winning and stake and put it on the Whips money line on Sunday. Because I completely agree. That's the script for this weekend is Maryland's going to lose game 1 against the Cannons. And then they're going to win game 2 against the Chaos. I don't like, the only thing you like about the Chaos is the fact they have Blaze Reardon, right? They haven't really looked great offensively. They haven't really settled in defensively. They get a lot of penalties, putting Blaze Reardon in really tough spots where they're always playing man down. They're struggling to clear the ball. So I like Whips even more if they lose that game 1. Even if somehow they beat the Cannons, okay, great. Then you're going to be playing a lesser opponent and you're already tuned up and you know that you kind of need to grab some wins here. But as far as it goes, a money line pick for me, and this could all blow up if we get 3 injuries in the Cannons game. You know what I mean? So maybe this is why the line isn't going to change all that much. Maybe you wait to bet this one. But Whip Snakes on the money line. Absolutely love that. That's my favorite side play of the week for sure is Whips in game 2 against the Chaos. I don't like the Chaos. I don't really love their new head coach. I think, moving on from Andy Towers, whether it was their doing or not, it was just not the right move for them because the players love them. You've lost so many players. I don't see how this one, I don't see how Carolina finally figures it out against the Hungry Whips team on homecoming weekend at home. Really like Whips on the money line.
Could not agree more. Jovan, thoughts on Blaze versus the Whip Snakes, the last game of the PLL weekend?
So I like the angles that you guys are talking about. And while we're talking about, I guess the goalie is not necessarily correlating. It feels like to me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, if we're talking about this Whip Snakes team finally breaking the curse of winning in the second day here, they have to be pretty aggressive offensively. And what if this is just saves term? I might just bet Blaze saves every game the rest of the year.
You should.
I mean, yeah.
What if it's just a historic goalie season?
I mean, dude. And by the way, they just put up the squares right in front of my face, which is crazy. Maybe it's meant to be. Maybe it's a sign, but I've been looking at the Prize Picks lax category, which, by the way, every week I look at it, is getting played more because it keeps moving more towards the left. The categories all the way to the right are the ones that get played less. And every time I look at the Prize Picks board every weekend, I see the lax category moving a little bit further towards the left, getting more action, which is fucking awesome. Ooh. Now they got the goalie save squares up, not just for Liam Entenmann and Colin Kirst, the Saturday guys, but they just put up the Sunday goalies right in front of my face, and they've got a Blaze up at 14.5 saves, Jovan. It's insane.
Why not?
14.5.
It's
that high for a reason.
Didn't he have like 20 saves in the first half?
He set the records.
It's just like,
and I actually had the more than in that game. That was one of the greatest squares of all time. Yep.
Dude, I wouldn't even hate if you just look to get Blaze reared and like shop around. I think there's some crazy prices out there. There's like 5 to 1, 7.5 to 1.
MVP.
Yeah, because here's the thing: is like if he has he could break his record that he already just broke this year again at some point. And if he has 2 record-breaking games, he's not going to be plus 5,000. So like $20 bet on him to win $1,000. Cool. Why not? That's a little pizza money. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All he needs is one more performance, and he's at the top of that list. You know,
Jeff T is a little banged up. Yeah, they put up a lot of lax squares, Jovan.
There's one that looks incredibly concerning, Krabs.
What do we got?
I'm seeing an Asher Nolting 1.5 goal square on the board. And I think he has
shit talking him.
He has 1 all year in the 3 games.
Oh my God.
That could be dangerous.
Newbie. I know you were talking about wanting to fade him. Does that scare you a little bit?
I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say that worries me a slight bit. Like,
you're an honest man.
Is the script in? Is the script in that finally this is the
Mikey Over in the game?
Especially
like the Cannons.
Because Asher's probably a fan of the program. He probably heard me say I thought he was coming in a little bit underweight or overweight, and now he's saying, "All right, how about they throw a square up here, 1.5, motherfucker? How about that?"
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit concerned, a little bit sweating over here now.
Yep,
I wouldn't be taking the under 1.5 goals. I can tell you that much. The 3.5 points.
Well, he might just say, you know what, screw it. I've not been playing my game this season, and just turn into the fucking bowling ball that he is, getting downhill, being an absolute beast, a bruiser of a running back. Get to the fucking rack. Throw some. If he
goes over that, dude, he has a hat trick and probably 2 assists.
Yeah.
If he scores more than 1 goal, he's absolutely going to have that big game. So if he goes over, everything's cooked on Asher. If he scores 2 goals,
Jovan, that might be a good find, bro. Wow.
Yeah, they did. I saw that one while you were looking. That was the one that got put up right in front of my face.
Prize Picks putting up all these squares. Real quick, thoughts on Jeff Teat and his season before you go, Newbie? Is he banged up? Are they trying new things on offense? What are you seeing out of Mr. Jeff Teat after an MVP type season?
Yeah, I think the guy also plays in the indoor league too. So I think he typically, outside of last year when he had the MVP season, he was always like a slower start kind of guy. So I don't think, I'd be ringing the alarm on Jeff Teat or anything like that. I'm not too worried about him coming along. But, also you always bring in some new rookies. You always bring in just a different look offensively. I think some of the injuries that they had coming into the year also allowed teams to focus on him a little bit more defensively. So am I hitting the panic button for Jeff Teat? No, not quite yet. But if the Atlas start stacking up losses, and not being able to put some games together, that's when I start ringing the alarm. If Jeff Teat doesn't start taking some games over, but I just think he's a slower start kind of guy. They're figuring some things out. It's a long season to go here. After All-Star Weekend, let's circle back and see what we think about Jeff Teat. We got 2 more weeks here until then. After the California week, let's see if he doesn't start coming along, because you're always just 1 game away from a Jeff Teat breakout where he goes on this run where he has 7 points, 8 points, 7 points, 6 points. You know what I mean? So I'm not all out on Jeff Teat, but I will say a little bit concerned. My hand's floating over the panic button, but definitely not slamming down on it just yet.
Agreed. All right, newbie, before you go, let's do our favorite book plays of the weekend. I'll get it started. Okay, I've already got mine. Fade and chat. Unfortunately, I see Yay Lad saying the Water Dogs are going to be free against the Atlas. As we're talking about Jeff Teat, I'm buying low on Jeff Teat. I'm buying low on the Atlas after a generational crumble, right? Just an absolute melt job from the Atlas, whose middle name is Melt Job. But enough is enough. I'm buying stock in the Atlas, one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in the PLL. They're going to show that this weekend, and they're getting a win in the first game of the weekend. Give me the Atlas on the money line.
Love that. Love that. I think for me, you and I are aligned right there, right? So you could almost make that, one of a double favorite play. But for me, the one that stands out to me, so I'll stamp my approval on that. You can put a little like a half newbie on there. Give me the over in Archers and Outlaws. Archers offense comes alive this week. Take your pick on who you want to bet on the Archers for prize picks, squares over. But as far as the game goes, 21.5 is crazy. Way too much recency bias in that number. Way too much thinking that this is how the Archers are going to be all year long. And also kind of disrespectful to this Outlaws offense who can put up scores in bunches. I think you could be flirting with this total in the first half, truly. I think you're looking at like a 16-15 kind of game here. I don't think 21.5 even comes into focus. So slamming that over is the favorite play of the weekend for me.
Wow.
Love it.
That could be the difference. Love that. I might just have to stick with Blaze saves.
Why not?
The entire way. Ride it the entire way. If a team's going to break the curse, they're going to be peppering him with it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep. He probably lets in a bunch, but he also saves a bunch because their defense is Swiss cheese. Jared Newman can't do everything. He can't cover everybody. Jack Roulette can't cover everybody. Besides those 2 dudes, they got nobody. And they lost a bunch of guys this season as well when they lost coach. They've taken a step back. Unfortunately, they're the worst team in the PLL besides Blaze. They're letting some shots in. And he's probably letting some goals in too, but love the more than 14.5 saves for Blaze. Just keep taking it every weekend, Jovan. Keep taking it.
I'd have to.
Okay. W's. Newbie, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you for coming on and spoon-feeding some good takes and some good plays. Good luck this weekend, my man.
Always a pleasure, boys. Let's cash some tickets, gentlemen.
Let's cash.
Let's do it.
Thanks for coming on, Beast. We'll be. Peace, brother. WPLL segment. Let's fucking go. Let's go, chat. Hope you guys learned something. If you didn't, you got to unclog those ears. Okay? Because we just absolutely spoon-fed you gobs. We spoon-fed you prize pick squares. We spoon-fed you book plays. The whole shebang. Okay? As we get a Pax Pick subby coming in, W's. Appreciate you, Pax Picks. You're him, bro. You're him.
Him.
All right. Yeah, I am in love with the Atlas. First game of the weekend. I'm making coins on that, and I will be there boots on ground. Let's go. Chat.
Huge.
I want to let you guys know I'm going to make a video this afternoon. Going to do a 2-ticket giveaway for the PLL tomorrow. I'm going to post a video about it. All you got to do is like and comment on the video. And I'm going to randomly pick somebody to win 2 free tickets on Saturday. And I believe it's sold out or almost sold out. So it's going to be awesome. Baltimore vibes are always great. They fill that puppy up. If there's one weekend to go to, in my opinion, every year, it's the Baltimore weekends. Okay. It's the heart and soul of lacrosse. It's where lacrosse is born. And yeah, it's Gootsland. So what else could you have? What else could you meet? It's literally Gootsland. You thought it was Birdland? Gootsland.
Goots.
Okay. It's going to be a legacy weekend in Baltimore for the PLL. Could not be more excited. It's close to sold out, Chaco. Yep. You just got your tickets. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right. Yeah, Lockie, he's dialed. Newbie's dialed, bro. You could tell. He knows his shit. And we were aligned on like every play. Let's fucking go, Jovan.
Could be huge.
Let's go. All right. And also, cannot forget that I'm 10-2 betting PLL this year. And that is not cap, all tracked, 10-2. And surely us making a graphic and me talking about it all weekend goes well. Sure. Okay. Let's fucking go. Anybody else in the chat going to be there tomorrow? We'd love to link up, get some picks. Makes me look good when you guys come up and say what's up at the PLL events. I owe you guys one. All right. Makes me look good. It makes me feel good. Appreciate you guys. Okay. I know Chaco will be there. Excited to meet him. I don't think Ron's going to be there, unfortunately, although I heard he might be down there on Sunday. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Atlas or Max, Mikey. Let's fucking go, Mike. It's your weekend, Mike.
If
All-time newbie chirp, by the way, on Mikey. I just got to get that.
all-time.
All-time chirp.
Look, we want to pivot back to the diamond here. Davis Martin on the IL. He's not pitching today.
Yeah, it's cookie. So cookie. Backing on that over, but forearm on the IL is just really bad for
Well,
Davis
fuck the
Martin
bet.
guys.
Fuck the sharp report. Just prayers up for Jovan guy, Davis Martin.
Unbelievable.
Jeez. Prayers up.
Brings a tear
Is
to
he
my eye.
caked?
I mean, forearm on the IL, day of is bad.
It's probably a 50% chance he's going to have to get Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, hope not.
You guys better tail the PLL plays this weekend. How many times do I got to say it? How many times? I know there's hundreds of people in here who just listen to me talk about the PLL and they ignore it. They don't lock in. You got 3 games on national TV this weekend. I'm 10-2 betting this league. You can bet it on all the fucking books. Get involved. Prize Picks has so many squares up there this weekend. We're going to spoon feed you guys. Okay? Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right. Richie, get involved, dude. Now or never. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for, Richie? Do I got to place the bet yourself? Do I got to go 100-0? I'll tell you right now, that's not happening.
Might have to go 100 out.
Best I could do is 10-2. Best I could do. Okay, I'll try to beat that there this weekend. Okay? Dubs. Jovan, any baseball games? Let's circle back. Let's reel it back in. Okay, any baseball games that we didn't touch on today that you have to talk about? Maybe we could talk about Aaron Judge bobblehead day and how we're going to fade him.
We?
Yeah. Wait.
I think that's to you. You question, Krabs.
Okay. Well, how am I going to fade Aaron Judge?
You go ahead and answer your question, because I will not be getting involved in fading Aaron Judge or the Yankees.
Well, that certainly treated you really well the last week.
It did. It did. It was one time, but it did. Now they have one under their belt. The O's are dog meat, and Sagana's on the bump. Unjudged bobblehead day. Max Fried's on the bump, which has actually treated me really well.
Look at those splits. You think people are betting on the O's? No.
What happened
The
to
O's are
Jovan,
fucking-
man?
The Yanks are minus 300 with Fried on the mound. No shit. Everybody's going to be on the Yankees.
You've changed. You've
Are
changed.
What are you taking the Orioles, Krabs?
No, but I'm
just
fading
taking
Aaron
Judge.
Judge because he's cold as ice. He's literally Iceman up there at the dish. He's frozen. He's seeing fucking pennies.
He's seeing
Fade him until
pennies,
otherwise.
but you know he's going to have to be a me guy tonight.
I don't know because like I've screamed from the mountaintops the last week and nobody's listening, until you see the Yankees figure it out and put a couple together, we keep fading, we keep making money, and nobody's listening, and I'm right.
You're
Nobody's
right.
listening, I'm right.
I won't disagree. Just
I know.
on Judge
Keep
Superman
fading.
bobblehead
No,
night.
keep. More
I'm not
importantly,
saying back
fade
him. I'm not saying back him. Just what do you think's going to happen here, Krabs?
I think the lights are too bright, and he's going to shit down his leg like he does whenever the lights are bright, and he's going to stink it up again because he's in a slump.
I hope so.
And I've been right all week. I hope so too.
so.
I hope so too. I'm taking his less than 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs on Prize Picks. And I'm going to keep making money fading him. It's working.
It is.
It's working.
Yeah.
Okay? Until he comes up and starts fucking playing well and the Yankees figure it out for a couple games in a row, I'm going to keep fading. And once that happens, Jovan, I'll sit back, enjoy the show, and I will just, you guys will be in the chat saying, here come all the home runs. I know it's coming. He's the streakiest hitter in baseball, and he went the longest this season he ever has without showing that. So maybe we forget. But when he's bad, he's bad. When he's good, he's the best. And that's coming from me. Right now, he's bad. You keep fading, you keep making coins. Take his more than strikeouts, take his less than fantasy score, although I'd prefer to just take his less than 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs, because there's always the walk factor. Okay? That's how you make coins on Aaron Judge. If anybody knows, unfortunately, it's me. Because besides the Nats, I'm watching Aaron Judge the most. Every at bat, every move. Okay?
Every move he makes.
Every move. On and off the field. Every move.
There we go. There we go.
Yep. And there it is. Yep. Remember when he went to the fucking U.S. Open tennis match when the Yankees were struggling and he was there at 1 a.m.? I remember.
Him and
I was
Stanton,
keeping
right?
tabs. Yeah. I was keeping tabs. Uh-huh. Keep fading them, folks. Yeah, Goots in the chat. Sure you can. All right. Let's lock in, Jovan. It's about that time. I'm excited for a squad ride cash tonight. I can already feel it.
Sure.
All right. You ready? Gootsy, run that shit. I'm trying to see that train. I'll go ahead and get out ahead of this one. We can leave the Nats off to the side. Enough is
Really?
enough. Yeah,
Really?
we can. Now that over, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. Okay.
Let's look at our winners that we've got for tonight. I'll tell you what's a winner. It's the Royals Padres under 7.5.
Love that from you.
Winner.
Love that.
Winner. Just like the under in Baltimore last night, just like every play I've given in the Sharp Report or in the squad ride poll the last week and a half.
Dude, it's been
Winner.
Just
Winner.
does not get the respect, does not get the votes.
Nope. That's okay. They'll learn one day. They'll learn.
One day.
I just have to, just like everything in life, I gotta prove it over and over again, time and time again, and prove people wrong. It's what I've done for a living. It's not stopping now. You kidding me? My middle name is Prove People Wrong. With 3 dashes in the middle.
It's a W middle
Okay.
name.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. We're putting that under in here. Jovan, I'm looking at your plays. I would be lying if I said I could not resist the Diamondbacks on the road laying -1 and a U back in Zach Gallen.
Really? Did not expect that to be said.
Yeah.
But I'm in, of course.
Sure.
What
Let's
are
put that puppy
you
in there.
What are you doing with this Jays game?
I love that over still. And I'm
I
assuming
know.
you like it
I was
more
going
now.
to say, being the fact that Davis Martin is no longer involved, my gym is
Okay.
tickled.
I'm in. Say no more. 2 words, chat. Jim is tickled.
Gym is tickled.
All right. Are we putting the Nats Dodgers over in here? Or are we letting that splooge?
That's it. It's a you call, Krabs. I love the play.
Okay.
It's your Nats.
Okay. I think we leave it out.
Okay.
Let's go 3 plays, 3
Got
winners.
3 right here.
We already got 3 winners. Why make it 4? Why make it harder? We got 3 winners right here, Jovan. 3.
Great.
3 plays, 3 winners, chat. You got 2 minutes to lock in your vote. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Sprint. Run over to the Twitch chat. Get involved. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. That's fine. That's cool. And I'll pull up the YouTube chat here again because I'm letting you guys splooge off to the side. I see you guys. Curry Pounds, AJ, Miguel, Sebastian, Lucas, Campbell. Get your asses over to the Twitch chat. Hurry up. You got 2 minutes. Get over there. Haul ass. Hurry up. Get the fuck over there to the Twitch chat. Get your votes in. All right, we've got a poll. We've got over 300 people in here watching, and we've got 35 votes. What is going on? 35 votes with hundreds of people in here? Guys, put your fucking phones down. Lock in and click a button, please.
And
It makes
GG
no
Krabs
sense.
Votes. No votes for Krabs.
Well,
Shit's
whatever.
unbelievable.
I don't know what else I got to do, man.
What else
How do I vote for Atlas ML? Atlas ML will be a, just like last weekend, it'll be a weekend. Actually, last weekend was a real Water Dogs squad ride, actually.
Yeah, that one was on Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We'll do an unofficial squad ride for tomorrow with the Atlas on the ML. That shit's hitting. Guys, vote. Vote. I don't care what you vote for. Just vote, please. Click the button of the play that's turning green. Okay? Get involved. Get involved. Yeah, Mikey, newbie chirped. Yeah, I said, what's wrong with the Atlas? He said it might be the old Mikey Over's jinx. Just all the New York teams just can't figure it out. It was honestly hilarious. We're probably going to have to clip it. Yep. It was awesome. All right, get involved, please. 3 plays, 3 winners. Okay, Royals Padres under 7.5, Diamondbacks -1.5, and the White Sox Blue Jays over 9. 3 plays, 3 winners.
No Krabs respect. It's just
No.
unbelievable. I'm
Never.
really disappointed.
So am
Really
I. Like, what else do I have to do, man? I've yelled. I've said nothing. I've tried being nice. I've tried being mean. I've been doing this for 717 episodes. Sorry, 719 episodes. And nobody wants to vote for my goddamn place.
Unbelievable.
It's just weird.
Jays might score 15.
It's weird energy. And that's why the squad rides are not hitting at 60% anymore like they used to. Because instead of us clicking the button of the play that we like the most, we're fucking around and we're trolling. And you know what? I'll let it slide in the summer. I'll let it slide in the dog days, but this shit ain't sliding in the NFL season. I'm putting my foot down. Okay? Enough is enough. Because at the end of the day, all the blame's on me. But if you guys don't give me a chance, is that fair?
It's not fair.
Not fair. Okay? Come on, chat. We're better than this. Now, with that being said, all this talk, all it's going to do is help the D-backs -1.5. And I love the play. So we'll meet you guys at the cash counter when they win by 5. Knock on wood. WBTL today. Great PLL talk. Jovan, you were getting involved as well. How about the fading Asher Knowlton talk? Can't make it up.
Yeah. Second the square popped up, though. I went from incredibly into scared to death very quickly.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, I hope Newbie already turned it off. We're taking that more than 1.5 goals. Respect.
I figured you would.
We're taking it. Okay. W stream today, chat. Hope you guys had a great stream. W energy, insane amount of subs. You guys are fucking awesome. Okay. We'll catch you guys next week on Monday. Same time, same place. Squad rides.